this falls inside, I'll be sad. I'm hoping it won't. Just use the exploit. You know you want to. No. Right. Let me just do a little save. Okay. I'll show you something I've been tinkering with. Do I need to put debug on? I think I do. Right. I'll tell you what I'll do, guys. Let me just jump to the main menu a second. I'll leave the game. I'll put debug on and I'll show you something. Because this gets brought up all the time, so I might as well explain. Unless I'm mistaken, aquatuners break thermodynamics in cool water more than the amount of heat they output. I'm not sure if that's true anymore. I think they fixed it, but we'll see. Right, let me just put debug on a second, and I'll show you something. Because I actually built one of your Borg cubes, Saturnus, and had a little tinker. And as much as I was sickened by myself, you can't fault its efficiency. So for those that keep asking about Borg cubes, is it alright if I show it first of all, Saturnus? Is it alright if I demonstrate? If not, I won't. Cool. Alright, buddy. It's not exactly like you build yours, I don't think, but the same principles there, I think. I just threw it together to see if I could make a visual thing. I was going to do a little video on it, but again, I wanted to ask you permission first, because it's technically your build, you know what I mean? Or you've coined the build. I'll see if I've actually got it. So this is a setup I've been tinkering with myself, okay? And I've actually I've recorded it about 3 or 4 times, a little video on this. This is a legit water cooling setup. It generates about 6,500 kilos over 5 cycles, which gives enough food for this many plants, depending on how you run it. If you run it for 5 cycles and give it a cycle to cool, it'll generate this much. If you run it for 8 cycles and give it 3 cycles to cool, you'll get this much. Okay, it does have some downtime. So in here we've got an aquatuner in some petroleum and some crude oil being cooled by another fire and some wheezeworts. All right. And what this basically does is cool our water to a sexy 15 degrees, meaning we can use it for bristle blossoms. It uses about half a steam geyser. It's quite a lot of water, or something like that. It's quite a lot, depending on how much you leave it inactive. But it does need some cool down time, because this does heat up a little bit. Even though this is meant to remove 400 watts of heat, I don't fully get how these work. It seems to not cool anywhere near enough for what this needs. There's still an exploit in there. Show me where, Mex. In here? Are you talking about this vent? What are you talking about? So this is a slightly derpy version of Saturnus's build. I don't know how exactly you build it. Do you put your valves above or something? I can't remember. But this is just something I threw together. Let's just get debug stuff going, just to highlight something. So this is what we call the Borg cube, or it's been coined as the Borg cube. The liquid by the aquatuner. What? This? What are you talking about, Mex? These are full tiles. The liquid by the aquatuner. Don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, right, we'll show this first of all. So, this is the Borg cube. It's incredibly powerful, okay? But in order to get this to work, what we first of all will do... Should I do it with petroleum? Is it easier with petroleum? It's probably more visible with petroleum anyway, because it's a nice clear liquid. Let's see, is it 870 still for petroleum? I think it is. And we'll make it like 293.15. Oh shit, that would have been very hot. Don't want that. 293. So that should be like 20 degrees-ish. Okay. Now we've got 163 kilos in this tile. It's not a full tile. And when we start pumping a bit of liquid, I'll know what it can do. I think this is connected to a circuit. Beautiful. Right, first thing you'll notice, I've just pumped in some liquid. At the moment, everything is 20 odd degrees, okay? If we now run this, the first thing you'll notice is we start getting a little bit of heat, Okay, and then as soon as the liquid starts going through here, you'll see we get varying shades of blue. Okay, now what's basically happening is this toggled? Let me just, we can put this right down. What's basically happening here is, as we get to this stage, might need to run it a little bit more. Or remove a bit of liquid. Boop. Let's get rid of a little bit of that. We just want a little bit of surface liquid here. Just toggle you off a second. Let the bubble settle. Beautiful. What do you normally set this valve to, Saturnus? Is it less than? Let's try that. So, we've now got petroleum at minus 36 degrees. Okay. We'll set it to... What temperature can crude oil go to? Petroleum even. Freezing point minus 57. So, minus 50. What we've realistically done here, and it's not... We've not got it on this side anymore, we need a little bit of petroleum pumping in here. Do that. There we go. I've got 2 tiles of vacuum, which is trolling me a little bit. Let me just fix this. Okay. So as long as you have a little bit of circular liquid in contact with a metal tile, whatever you pump over this tile, the heat will be transferred directly down into the pool of liquid. Okay. So whatever temperature this is, instantly gets transferred. Now, if you want, I can build you a big old fuck off version of this, so you can see it a bit more visually. Okay. So if I do something like this, okay, and then I'll encase it in a Abyssite just to make sure it doesn't pop. Okay, just do that. Let's make this a vacuum as well. Can I fill this? Will that work? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we've now got a vacuum in here. Let's put some water in at like... Oh shit. 300 and... What would it be? 390? Or 370 I think is just about to be boiling, I think. Again, I don't work in kelvins. Yeah, that'll do. So if we put in... let's put in 200,000 kilos. Okay. Boop. Okay. Actually... We need to mop a lot of that out. I need some space to drip water in. Come on now. Something very pleasing about that, sorry. Something very pleasing about that. Okay, there's a lot of water in here anyway. So what I'm now going to do, I'll put a couple of metal tiles in. We'll do like one there and one over here or something like that. We'll put a vent here and we'll put a vent over here. Okay. Let's build this out something different. If I take... I still went on priority 9 then, even though I don't need priority. We'll run you to there, but I'll do this one first of all. I'm going to run some liquid into here. Okay, and we'll just come off here. Okay. So, if you look at this thermal overview now, we've got a big old pool of hot water, right? Now, I'll do this side first, and then I'll raise the water level up a little bit and show you the difference. So we've got... oh, shit, I'm doing it with crude oil. It should make a difference. Anyway, you'll see there's no temperature change here now. There's no temperature change at all. The water is still crazy hot. It's 100 degrees. Okay? If I now knock this out, put a little bit more water in here. 1,000 kilos. Boop. Well, this is going to be slightly weird because I've got 2 different types of liquid. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, if I connect this up now, so there's literally next to no temperature change from the oil that we're pumping in the crude oil. I'm assuming this will work, but with there being different liquids, it might be a little bit squirrely. We'll just toggle you on for a second. Look at my crude oil down, my petroleum down here. it's going to sink to the bottom, so I don't think this is going to work as a demonstration, but we'll try. Okay. No, it's sinking straight away. You can see it going through the liquid. I need to do it with a different liquid. Let's put a different pump up here. Actually, we'll get rid of you. I'll build you with a airflow inner. I think I can use this circuit here. Let's put this down to like 273. That'll be like 0 degrees or 1 degree or something. Oop. Okay, you can just stop being a thing. Okay. I'll let all this crude oil come out and then we'll mop it up. Okay. Stop being a thing. Just get all that cleared out the system. I know now, I know, I was a fool. I see the error of my ways. We'll do this with insulated as well. Right, have you now emptied? Is that all of the gum? Right, okay, let's show you again. So we'll mop a couple of these tiles, get rid of some of this, we'll deconstruct you. So we've now got, in this tile here, we've got 400 odd kilos. It's settling down at the minute. It's going to go over here. We'll probably end up with a couple of 100 kilos. If we now get this water from over here and pump this in, I'll also just throw down a quick valve. Let's get rid of you as well. Liquid valve. Get rid of you. And we'll set this to like 100 grams. So the water coming through the pipe is at 0 degrees C. Okay, if we look at our tank, it's still blazing hot. And then we're pumping in 100 grams of cold water. And already our temperature's jumping down all over the place. If we Alt-Z this, could do a little bit more water on this side, but whatever. Let's up this to like a kilo. And you'll see I'll just leave this running in Alt-Z for a minute. So this is pumping in a kilo of water at 0 degrees. And you can see the temperature, how it works. So what we've got here, it's not working on this side at the moment because there's not enough water on this side. I could just pump in a little bit, but where you've got surface water gathering to the side of a tile like that, dripping over a tile, temperature falls downwards, okay? So whatever temperature this liquid's coming out at is what temperature all this water will get transferred to. Even though there's like a ton of water in each one of these tiles, you'll end up with this transference of temperature, okay? This is the exploit. This is all it is. It's a tile. It's nothing to do with the aqua tuner. It's nothing to do with the piping. It's this tile. This surface tension water, okay? This is what I've been trying to explain. Or this is not what I've been trying to explain. This is what people are often getting confused with. They think there's some magic. It's not. It's a bug. It's to do with how water temperature transference works within the game. And you end up with this rainbow effect, okay? So you've got water being cooled now to 13 degrees, 12 degrees. And eventually all this will become, 1 degree. Or 0 degrees. It will become the temperature of what you're pumping in. Okay, and you can see as our water, this is the best example. As this water tile now, this surface tension water is moving over and filling these vacuum tiles. Okay, I'll put this on slow so you can see. This is currently a vacuum. And as soon as this stops being a vacuum and becomes water, look at that. It's instant. And that water's at 36 degrees, so this water is dropping rapidly as well. So you see what's happening? It's very pretty, don't get me wrong. It's also incredibly naughty. It's why I won't use this build. I see this is the ultimate cheat to me, and I won't use it. I know me and Saturnus disagree on this a little bit, as in you're happy using exploits and stuff. If it's in the game, you use it. So yeah. Oh, Ragnar, sorry, I didn't say goodbye. If you're still here, take care, Dominique. It was lovely to meet you. I hope to see you again. So yeah. This is what it basically is. Now, this can be applied to anything. If my ceilings in this aquatuner room were slightly higher, I could have put a tile here, for example, a liquid vent there, and just pumped my liquids in, and it would have bugged out the oil in here. Basically meaning you're getting more cooling out of your liquid. If I was cooling a packet of liquid through an aquatuner, that's 10 packets that I can apply to here that will cool essentially full tiles with the temperature. But yeah, we can make rainbows now, 100. We can. But as you saw, when we pumped in liquid through a normal vent, if I deconstruct this for a second, deconstruct that. Let's replace these tiles with hot tiles again, just to show you the difference. If I use a normal vent at 373, and we'll just get rid of all you. Make you toasty boy. Okay, so you're now nice and hot again. Okay, just catch you up. You'll see we get nowhere near the same sort of difference pumping in water like this. Because it's not interfering with the surface water, it falls to the bottom down here and basically does jack shit. Okay, and we can up this valve right up and it still won't make a blind bit of difference. It will cool a little bit, but yeah. Now reheat it with the drop. Oh yeah, we could do that. Let's okay, so yeah, this works both ways is what Mex is getting at. So you can basically, let's just toggle this off for a second. No, let's just turn this pump off. You can do the exact same thing in reverse. Okay, so if we disable this pump for a second, let this water come out. Okay, this is going to be slightly cold, so let me just put this vent back. Okay, we'll mop all you, and we'll just clear this floor as well so you can see what's going on. If I now put some toasty hot water in here, so at 373, we'll put like, I don't know, a couple hundred kilos in here. Okay. This is now 100-degree water and a very cold pool. So if I now go to you and enable you, turn off all there. And these are just 10 kilo packets, it doesn't really matter, we'll just leave it running. Oh, I might need some more water in the room. Hold on, before we do that. Put a kilo at 273. My water's settling a little bit. Okay. Might need a little bit more water. Oh, it's coming out of here, you penis. Right. How much water have we got in these tiles? How much water have we got? Wait, if I bug my tile up, I think I've got too much water. Let's get rid of a little bit here. I started with too much water in my tank and it's being weird. Is this tile broken? Just not as visual this way. Oh, I've got buildings breaking. Oh, I've got tepidizers that are running. I don't know why they're running. I did save our game, didn't I? Let me just check my load. Hold on. I did say, yeah, I saved. Okay, I didn't want to lose an auto save on the other game. Oh, so it deletes the heat this way. Yeah, because we've got 100-degree water coming in, and we're not getting much of an improvement, are we? I think the only improvement we're getting on the tile is from this actually being hot. There's a hell of a lot of water flow coming in as well. I wonder what happens if it's fully submerged, or a bit more submerged. So this surface water, hold on, this surface water that's coming out is like 100 degrees. And then instantly turns to 11 degrees when it hits this pool of water. That is very interesting. Again, I suppose it's because heat rises, isn't it? I wonder if then if we did, what have I got? What can I use? Got a little setup up here I could use. Let's turn some of this on. If we had a pool of water like this, okay, we'll just nip off this liquid pipe. Okay, and now if I took this water, because I'm pumping this from the bottom now, and made it to 373. I wonder if this works. Overheat damage, oh shit. Copper pumps. No, we're getting a much more drastic heat increase. Yeah, I think you're actually getting a real heat increase there. So it's just the surface tension bug. It both deletes heat in no matter which way you do it. That's impressive. So let's go back to doing this again. We'll do it one more time before we come off debug because, gosh darn, it does look pretty. Let's make this 2. I've just put way too much water in that room. Hold on, 373, 1 kilo. Too much water. Let's get rid of all you. Boop. And let's go back to this. Boop. Let's mop all of you. I think I've just broken my tile as well. So we'll deconstruct you. Let's mop all of you plus like some of you, some of you. It's very pretty. It's very naughty. It's very much an exploit, Hanno. Yeah. Well, it's just a bad way the game's running at the minute. It's something I'm sure they can fix. It's been in the game for some time now. And look what Saturnus's Borg fucking cube has done to my world. It's now super cool down here. This is an incredibly efficient way of using said exploit. But I mean, you could do the same with a room with a Weezewort dripping, you know, a Weezewort cooling the oxygen and dripping over a tile. The same principle exists. I mean, that's just crazy. And look at it go. Again, I like this as the surface water makes it to the next tile. You get this drastic drain off. And that's that. I hope that explains it for those of you that have been asking. Mid Jones, this one's for you, buddy. I will link this to you if you're not here. That's it. Very naughty. Very naughty. I will, at some point, by the way, I'll give you the save file for anybody that wants to have a tinker and nosy at some of the little derpy builds I've got in here. There's all sorts of stuff I've been doing. I did a little video on some basic automation and gas vents and liquid vents and how to set up a tepidizer and all sorts of little bits and bobs. So if you want the save file, I'll bang it up on the YouTube at some point. But yeah. I don't want to use that. I want to try and do it legitimately. If that means I need to get a load of Weezeworts and some anti-entropy thermo nullifiers and all that shit, I want to do it that way. That's the way I want it to be done. So yeah. Say no to thermodynamics. Don't be a slave. Spleen, good evening. Sorry, I didn't read your message.